second session, the second segment of our project. In our project, we built a pipeline, and in that pipeline, we have downloaded our source code from the GitHub repository that we created in the first part. If you have not watched the first part, please go and look for the video. I will give the description of the video for the first part under this video. We downloaded the code from GitHub, and then we did unit test in Maven. We did integration test in Maven, and we had a build artifact in Maven. That's where we ended in our last first part. So in today's part, we are going to continue with our project. So what are we going to do? We are going to push the artifact to sonarqube. So guys, this is what we are going to do. So we are at this level. This is our Jenkins server. We push the code to GitHub, and now the code has been downloaded here, and our artifact has been built. So the next thing is we want to send the code now to sonarqube. When we send the code to sonarqube, what is going to happen? We are going to perform two tests in sonarqube. The first test is static test analysis, and then the second test is quality gate analysis. And then after we do this, we are going to then push the code to the build to an artifactory, which our artifactory is a Nexus server, which we have configured. We also configured Nexus server in our first part of the video. Now we are also going to, from this artifact that has been generated here, we are going to dockerize the artifact by writing a Docker file. So in this project, we are going to write a Docker file. We dockerize the artifact, and then we push the Docker image that we are going to build here. We build a Docker image here, and then we are going to push the Docker image to our Docker hub. Once our image is already found in our Docker hub, you can do anything with your image. You can now deploy the image to Kubernetes. You can see write the second pipeline to deploy the image to Kubernetes, which is the third part of our video. So that's it. Let's go back to our code and see how we merge, we link these two servers together. We want to link the Jenkins server and the sonarqube server together. So let's go back to our code and see what we are going to do. So this is our Jenkins server, and this is our sonarqube server. Okay, so in your sonarqube server, you are going to generate a token. That's the very first thing you are going to do. You're going to generate a token, and I will show you where to use that token. But before we generate that token, let's first of all go to to Jenkins and see where we are going to use that token. Now in Jenkins, just come to dashboard. You will see manage Jenkins. Then you come down to configure systems. Now from configure system, you will look for sonarqube. You will see sonarqube server here because you have installed when you were installing your Jenkins, you were asked to install certain add-ons. You have a sonarqube add-on that you are going to install in Jenkins that will then show this. If you do not install it, you are not going to see sonarqube servers. So watch the first video to see which are the following add-ons that we installed for this to happen. So we click on add sonarqube. That is how you link the sonarqube server to your Jenkins server. Here you can just name anything. You can say sonar server, because you might have several sonarqube servers. Then here you are going to copy the URL of your sonarqube server. This URL here like this, you're going to copy it and come back to Jenkins, and you paste your URL of your sonarqube here. Now when you installed your SonarQube, you had a username and a password for that SonarQube, so you need to add those credentials here. But now we are not going to use the credentials, we are going to use a token. Okay, so which type of token are we going to use? We are going to first of all see, when you do this, first of all, please when you come to add credentials, you see nothing will happen here. So what you do is you click on apply, and then you click on save, and then you repeat the process again. You still come to manage Jenkins, come down to configure systems, then you come down to SonarQube. Here it is. Now here, if you add here, you will see now Jenkins is adding your credentials. So what are you going to add here? You want to add a secret text, because we are going to be using a token. So come to kind here. The kind of credential that you want to use is a secret text. Okay, now when you write a secret text, they will ask you is it global? You say yes, it is a global, and then they will say you should put that secret text here. So where is the secret text? So let's go back to SonarQube and generate that secret text. So in SonarQube, you come to administration, then you come down to security, you go to users, and here you come to tokens, and then you write the name of your token. Let's just write sonar auth, like sonar authentication. You generate a token. Now you copy this token and you keep, because if you don't keep it, if you don't keep the token and you lost that page, you will no more find the token. So I'll always copy the token and I keep somewhere else. Okay, this is my SonarQube token. All right, now where do I use this token? This is where I paste the token. Okay, then I give the token an ID, SonarQube token. Right, then I describe it. What is the token doing? Authenticate sonar, like you want to authenticate your SonarQube server. That's all. Then I add. Now here, when they will ask now for server authentication token, I can now take, when you click here now, you can see that what you have just created has shown here. So take now authenticate sonar. All right, you apply and then you save. Now what we have done is, what we have simply done is we have linked SonarQube to Jenkins. But have we linked Jenkins to SonarQube? No, we have just simply linked SonarQube to Jenkins. So Jenkins also has to be linked to SonarQube. Now like this, SonarQube knows that Jenkins is existing, but Jenkins cannot move into SonarQube. SonarQube can move into Jenkins, but Jenkins, it can never move to SonarQube. So how do we make Jenkins to move to SonarQube? You discover that when we wanted SonarQube to move to Jenkins, we were doing the configurations inside Jenkins by allowing the door, opening the door in Jenkins for SonarQube. Now we want to open the door in SonarQube for Jenkins to enter. So how do we do that? Now you go to your SonarQube, you come to configuration, you take webhooks, and then you say create a webhook, and here you give the webhook a name like Jenkins server, and then the URL this is how the URL will look like. Please, this is how the URL normally looks like. So what you're going to do is you are going to change this one to the Jenkins one. So what is the Jenkins URL? We know this is the Jenkins URL. You copy it, you come now to Jenkins. Remember that you are beginning from here, and then you paste. This is now the Jenkins own that is existing. Okay, now there you create your webhook. Now at this particular moment, Jenkins and SonarQube have been linked together. There is already that handshake. Okay, now when Jenkins and SonarQube has been linked together, what do? We now send our artifact to SonarQube for what? For static test analysis. So what is our next stage? Our next stage is static test analysis. So before we do that static test analysis, what do? We have to configure our pipeline. Okay, so let's go to our pipeline, and then we go to our pipeline syntax. When you click on your pipeline syntax, you're going to look for the add-on with sonar. Look for something that says with sonar. I think we found it here, with SonarQube environment. So prepare sonar environment. So here, when you click on this place, you see that your credentials that you created earlier. You select them, and then you generate a script. Then you copy this script. This is the script that is going to help you link with your SonarQube. So you come now to your code. Here is our code. This code we wrote last time and ended here, so we are continuing the code. Okay, so you come to our code. In your code now, you write the next stage, and the next stage will be what? The next stage will be static test analysis. So we are going to do some static test analysis in SonarQube. Okay, now here, after that, you go to your steps, and then you go to you add additional script. Now after that, you paste what you copied. This, what I've just pasted here, is what I copied from here. Okay, is a script that I generated, that I came and pasted it here. All right, after you paste, you continue, write your braces. Now you have to write this static test script. Right, it is a shell script, so you need to write that static text shell script. I'll give you this script. This is the script that you are going to write. I'll send you this file here for all of you. I'll give you the description of the file. The file will be found below this video. So you bring the script. This is the script that is going to execute your static test. So the script says mvn clean package sonar. So this script is going to activate and execute your static test. Okay, good, fine. Let's see whether we have done something good. Let us run the pipeline and see. I save, don't forget to save. Then we run the pipeline. We start with git add. Git commit, and in this case we are committing what? Static test. And after we commit, we push git push -u origin main. Okay, our artifact has been, our code has been pushed. Let's try to run the pipeline and see if we've just done something that makes sense. After you do this, you always have to pray everything works, because you can do everything like that and then your code doesn't run successfully. So our code started running, and our unit test is being executed. Our integration test is going to be executed. Our Maven build is going to get built. Then we are expecting a static test analysis in SonarQube. Yeah, our static test analysis has started. It's 13 seconds gone. We hope it goes successfully. Good, it has run successfully. So our code now has passed the static test analysis in SonarQube. So the next thing is our code has to be put through another test again in SonarQube, which we call quality gate analysis. What is quality gate analysis? Quality gate analysis is when you want to make sure that your code is of the standard as set by your company. Your company can set the standard of your code, depends on their company. They will configure SonarQube as per the standard, and if the code does not meet that standard, they will send it back to the developers. So let's see how we can perform quality gate analysis in SonarQube. So in order to perform quality gate analysis in SonarQube, you come to your pipeline generator, your pipeline syntax. You look for something like waitForQualityGate. Take waitForQualityGate, and what will be our credentials? Still Sonar authenticate Sonar, because it is still inside SonarQube. So this is what you are going to use. So here now in your code, you are going to write the next stage. And what is the stage? The stage is quality gate analysis, and in that stage, what do we have there? We have a steps, and then we have a script, and here you paste the script that you just copied, right? So you paste this script. So in your quality gate analysis, you don't have any other shell script to write. All you need to write is oh, sorry, I've just pasted the wrong thing. Here is what you need to paste. What we just generated is what you need to paste. I had to go wait for SonarQube, yes, then I generate. This is what I needed. Okay, then I come to my code, I paste it here, Then I save. After I save, I push the code. Before I push the code, I go through the laws of DevOps. You have to do your Git rituals. So this one is quality Git. Then now you push. Now we try to run the code and see if our quality Gate will be performed. So our code started running, as you can see here. Our code is running. We are expecting another stage here. We are expecting a stage here. Okay, our quality gate analysis passed successfully. So where are we in terms of our, we have run the two tests here. We wanted to run a static test analysis and a quality gate analysis, right? So the next thing is we can send the artifact to our Nexus repository. Okay, when we send the artifact to our Nexus repository, it will be there. Then we will take the artifact again and dockerize it and send it to Docker Hub. This is when, if somebody ever wants to deploy the artifact as into a normal EC2 server, he will use this artifact here. If somebody wants to deploy the artifact as a microservice, he will use the Docker version or the image version of the artifact. Okay. So let us now send the artifact to our Nexus repository. That's our artifact tree, which is Nexus. How do we do that? We also have to connect, link Nexus to Jenkins, like we linked SonarQube to Jenkins. So how do we link Nexus to Jenkins? In order to link Nexus to Jenkins, what you do is come to Jenkins and then come to your pipeline generator. You will see nexusUploader. That was a plugin that we also installed. nexusArtifactUploader. If you did not watch the first video, you go and watch the first video. You see how we installed all these plugins. And here we have installed Nexus 3. You choose Nexus 3. It is HTTP, because you see HTTP and HTTPS, so we take HTTP. Then now you have to put your Nexus URL. Here is your Nexus URL. You copy it, you go back to Jenkins, and you put it there. Right, you remove these extra additional things. And then what is your Nexus credentials? You do have Nexus credentials. When we were installing Nexus, we created credentials. And what were those credentials? Credential was, our username for Nexus was admin, right? And our password was admin, right? So this one is Nexus authentication, and the description can give the same thing, Nexus authentication. Okay, we have added now our credentials for Nexus. We can select it. This is Nexus now, that is here. Now for group ID, as far as group ID is concerned, come back to your code, and you know we did Maven. This is the main file for a Maven project, the om.xml file. So here you will see a group ID, which is for our project. Our group ID is com.example. That is our group ID, com.example. Now I put your group ID there. Now for the version, I still come to my om.xml file. I look at the version is there. We know that the version is 1.1. This is our version. You copy it, you come and you put there. For the repository, that is your Nexus repository. Now, as far as the repository is concerned, please, you have to create a Nexus repository. When you create a Nexus repository, how do you create a Nexus repository? You come here like this. In these settings, you click on settings, and then you go to repositories, and then you come to create repository. When you come to create repository, they will ask you, so many repositories are there, what type do you want to create? Create Maven 2 hosted repository. Okay, here you give your repository name. We'll give it the name of our project. Okay, DevOps project 1. All right, now we do not want our repository. You can put, is it a release repository or a snapshot repository? So in sometimes you can first of all create a snapshot before you finally create the final release version of your application. So if it is first of all a snapshot, you take a snapshot. If it is already a full version release, you take release. We are going to go with release, and then let our policies be permissive, and then we are going to go with here deploy policy, allow redeploy. That means we can redeploy as many versions as we can, and then you create your artifactory. Now when you have created your repository, now here is your repository, which is DevOps project 1. You click on your repository. Now you copy your repository from here, and then you bring it to Jenkins and you put here. Okay, then you go to artifacts, add your artifacts. What are the artifacts that need to be there? You still go back to your om.xml. This is your artifact ID, which is a springboot. That is your artifact ID. You paste here. We are developing what type of an application? It's a jar application. We are using a jar file. This is a Java application, so it's a jar application. For classifier, you do not put anything for classifier for now. And the file, so which place will the file be found? all Jenkins files are found in a folder called target. Okay, and when you write target, that is the folder where Jenkins files are found. Now what comes after that target? After that target, you will now look for the name of your application that you are building. So here is what we have: file name. So it will be Uber. It will be Uber. You copy it and then you put here. We said we are developing what type of application? We are developing a jar application, so it should be Uber.jar. It should be Uber.jar. So here we generate our script. This is a script that we need in order to authenticate to Nexus. In order for Jenkins to send the artifact to Nexus, this is the script that we need. You copy now the script. Then you come now to the Jenkins file, and then you write the next stage, and then this one is upload artifact to Nexus. Then you go down to steps, you go down to script, and in script, here is where you paste that your long script that you copied. So we believe that after this, we save and run the code. There will be another step where our artifact will be sent to Jenkins. So let us run the code and see. Git add, git commit, upload to Nexus, then git push -u origin main. Now we run our code and see if our artifact will be uploaded to Nexus. We are expecting to see another stage occur here where our artifact is uploaded to Nexus. Okay, right now our artifact is being uploaded to Nexus and it succeeds without any problem. Okay, our artifact succeeds without any issue. So we have uploaded our artifact now to our Nexus. Our artifact is found now here. So the next thing is now we build a Docker file that will transform this artifact into a Docker image. Okay, let us build a Docker file that will translate or transform this artifact from a normal jar file into a Docker image. So how do we build that Docker file? We come here, we create another file called Docker file. Okay, in the Docker file, how to write a Docker file. We already learned how to write a Docker file in our last session. So let me just, for the sake of time, copy our Docker file, and then we go ahead. So we are going to write a Docker file here, and that file is going to be what is going to transform our artifact from a .jar file into an image file. So here is our Docker file. Let me explain to you the code. Sorry. All right, this is a file, a Docker file. So we know that all our Docker files must always begin with from. Okay, so in this case, our base image is coming from Maven as build. So this Docker file is going to search for Maven and look for any build artifact that is there. Okay, it's going to search for Maven and look for any build artifact that is there. When it finds that artifact that is there, it is going to create a working directory, work-dir. It's going to create a working directory called app. Okay, when it creates that working directory called app, then the next thing is it is going to copy, first of all the files. This dot, the first dot here, this space and this dot means copy all the files that are found in this directory. Copy all the files that are found in this directory, and then the second dot, space dot, means send it to this new folder that I have just created. So the first dot means copy all the files that are found in this directory. The second dot means send it to this app that I have just created. Interview question: how will you make your image small when you are writing a Docker file? That is an interview question. In what ways are you going to make your image small when you are writing a Docker file? The way you are going to make your image small is that instead of copying everything that is found in your working directory, you can select things to copy. For example, you don't need to copy the Jenkins file. You don't need to copy so many things. You can just copy just the binaries that need the application to run and send them here so that the image should be smaller. Okay, that's the first thing, to make your image smaller. The second thing is you write a multi-stage Docker file. What is a multi-stage Docker file? You see, we have written this Docker file into two, from Maven, from OpenJDK, right? So the first one is from Maven, second one is from OpenJDK. Here we have run OpenJDK 11. Okay, so now when you copy all these things here, run mvn install. That means install now Maven inside this application folder. That means now your jar file now will be created inside this application as an image. Okay, now that first part is finished. When you finish from that one, you will now take a web server, because every application is hosted in a web server. So you decide which web server that you want to run your application from. So for most of all the web servers will always need OpenJDK. That means you are going to take from OpenJDK 11, right? Your working directory is where it is your app. Okay, since your working directory is your app, you are going to copy from build to your app, and you know your directory that we said it is target dot slash Uber.jar, and you are going to send everything to your app. That means you are going to copy everything that was here and send it here. You are exposing the application at the port 1990. Okay, then when you write a Docker image, a Docker file, there's a command that is always executed, which means that each time the image runs, it should not execute and then go off. It should always keep running in the background. So you keep your Java running, you keep your Uber file running with this cmd command. Okay, so this is our Docker file. All right, so After we write our Docker file, we save it. We come back to our Jenkins file, and then we write a stage now. Stage. The stage is Docker build, right? Steps, script, and then the script for Docker build, you always write a command to build your image, right? The command should be docker build -c. Then you give the name of your file that you want to build. Let's say I want to build my file to be my Uber, right? That is my file that I want to build. Docker build -c my Uber. Okay, and what do? You give a space and you put a dot. That means take what you are building from this repository. Okay, and then it is what? It is a shell file. Okay, sh, put it like that. It is a shell script that you are executing. So as I said, I'm going to send you this. This is the command here that you need to execute. Now after you execute that command, the next thing is it will build the image, right? If we run now the pipeline, we are expecting an image to be built if we do everything right. But before we run the pipeline, let us tag the image. Okay, when you build an image, you need to tag it. What is tagging an image? Our end idea of building this image is sending the image to Docker Hub. So for us to send this image to Docker Hub, we need to tag the image with our Docker Hub account name. So let me check for my Docker Hub, and we have to create a repository in Docker Hub first of all. So we go to Docker Hub. We go to Docker Hub. We go to repositories. We create a new repository. We call it DevOps project 1, right? Our repository is not supposed to have spaces, so call it DevOps project 1. You can describe your project, what your project is saying. Make your project public or private. Okay, when you make it private, you know it will not be available to everybody. Public, we want it to be available to everybody. Everybody can log in and see our project. Okay, so we create our Docker repository. Our Docker repository has been created, and it is created as what? This is my name and my Docker repository. Okay, so this is what my Docker repository look like. So I copy it. Now I come here. This is the command. Shoot. Okay, so this is the command you need to run. You your image is the latest one. Okay, so I'm running a command docker tag my Uber latest, right? Give a space, and then my my username, then the repository I've just created, right? And then I give a name. I give a name to my I give a name to my image that I want to send to Docker Hub. Like the image, the name of the image that will be here, I have to give the name here. So let's give the name as project 1 image. Project 1 image. So that's the name of the image that we'll be sending there. So look at the command again. It is a shell command. Docker tag my Uber. It is a latest, the latest image that will be sent there. Then my username of my Docker Hub, which is Clemerance, and then because if you don't tag it with your username, it will not know where it is going. Then the repository that I just created, right? And then the name of the image that I want to send to Docker Hub, right? That is what you are going to be doing. So you tag this my Uber with this, okay? So that is what we are going to execute now and see if our file runs successfully. We save. Our commit now is docker build. Then we push. Then we see if we can run our pipeline and pray everything goes as we must have expected. Let me zoom out. So we are expecting a Docker build here. We are expecting a Docker build here. Okay, our script failed to build. Let's try to see if we can decode what is going on. We look for the logs. Let's see whether we can decode what is going on. What are they telling us here? Build success. They say uploading artifact started. Artifact uploaded successfully. Docker build -t my Uber. What are they telling? Permission denied while trying to connect to the Docker daemon socket at Unix. Okay, they are refusing our permission while trying to connect to the Docker daemon at Unix. That means our Jenkins is not having connection with our Docker. So guys, we are suspecting that our sock permission is being denied because we have not been able to run this command. So let me run this command. Then I run systemctl start docker. Okay, let's see if this works. If it works, I will tell you why it had to be that way. We are building for the 10th time. So guys, you can see that our application is now building our Docker file and our Docker image, excuse me, and it's going to take much time to build a Docker image. Well, certainly it is a very heavy Docker image. So our system is building the Docker image. So if we go to our Jenkins server here and we run docker image ls, you see there is no image for now. Okay, now that this one has finished, now let's run docker image ls. You see now there is a my Uber application that has been built here. You see my Uber app has been built here. So our application has been built. Okay, now to the reason why our pipeline was failing, this is a script. I installed Jenkins using a Terraform script. Let me show you the script which I used in installing. Okay, this is the script. I installed Jenkins using the Terraform script, and in the script I just ran a simple Terraform a simple script here which installed Java JDK, installed Git and Maven, and then updated and installed Docker. Now the mistake I made here is that when I installed Docker, I did not set the privileges. I did not set the file privileges for external application for others to be able to use the file. So this is the privileges that I had to set there, which I just ran. This socket was being denied from Jenkins, so I had to run to give privileges for this Docker sock to accept the linkage from Jenkins, and that is why the pipeline ran now successfully. So whenever you are running your Jenkins installation, please mind the way you install your Docker. If you don't install your Docker and give these privileges and run this particular command, it will be eliminated, or it will be denied. Permissions will be denied. Okay, so right now we are in we have finally run and successfully build our Docker image. So the next thing now is we want to tag that Docker image. Okay, let us tag the Docker image. But before we tag the Docker image, we have to go to Jenkins and do the configuration that will help us tag the Docker image. So let us go to Jenkins. How do we tag the Docker image? We have to tag the Docker image and then send it to the Docker hub. Okay, we go to Jenkins and then we go to what would permit us to send the Docker image to the Docker hub. Okay, so you go to your normal pipeline syntax. Go to your pipeline syntax and then you go to with credentials. There is something here that with credentials, bind credentials to variables. Okay, this with credentials and binding credentials to variables will help you authenticate with Docker, with your Docker hub. Okay, so when I click with credentials, bind credentials to variables, I then come like binding. I choose what do I want to bind. I said I want it through secret text. Okay, I want secret text that I'm going to send my Docker credentials as a secret text. So I take secret text. Now the variable, I can just say put Docker Docker credentials. That's a variable there. Authenticator, I don't yet have that authentication, so I have to create it. Go to here, username with password. No, I choose secret text. Okay, what was my secret text? I put my password to my Docker hub account here. Then I put I just give a name, Docker auth, as Docker authentication, Docker auth. Right, I create this credential. Now when the credential is created, now I choose the credential, take it. Now I have a Docker auth credential, so I generate now a script. Now copy this script, and then I create a new stage. Okay, now in my new stage, I have push image to Docker hub. This should be our last stage. Push image to Docker hub. Now our steps, and now our script. Now this is our script. All right. We have several shell script to run. We have several shell scripts to run, and the first shell script to run will be the script where we are tagging our image. Right, first of all, before we tag our image, we have to log into our Docker hub account. Okay, we have to log in. So remember the shell script I told you that we used in logging into our Docker hub account. Here it is. You copy this shell script, now you paste it here. Now listen, here you have Docker login -u this is my own account, so you put your own here, then -p, right? Then now this is a variable, so I'm going to take this variable from here because this is the variable I created, and then I paste it here. Okay, so this variable is a variable that you created, not this is not something static. It is a variable that you created yourself. Okay, so with this command, I have to log in now to I'm logging in directly to my Docker Hub. But before you do that, make sure you come and log in at the level of your Jenkins from the background. Okay, now when this command will run, I'm sure that I've logged into my Docker Hub. The next command now will be to tag my image. Remember that we already had the command to tag our image somewhere. Is a command that we wanted to tag our image with it. Copy my command. Now this command says, we already went through this command, we are tagging our image. Our image is my Uber and it is the latest one, so we are tagging it and redirecting it that you are going to be pushed to a Clemerance repository, and the particular repository, a Clemerance account, and the repository is DevOps Project 1, and the name of the image that will go in there is Project 1 image. Okay, so and then the final command is now the command to push to Docker. Okay, this is the command to push to Docker. The command is as simple as good morning. Copy the command to push, and then we arrange it to suit our taste. Now Docker push. Now from here I am eliminating all these things. Okay, Docker push, and then I copy all this one, I bring there. So Docker push, I take Clemerance /devops /project 1 project 1 / image. I'm pushing this to my Docker. So at this level we believe we can push, except we have made a mistake somewhere. Let us save and then we run a pipeline. This one now is Docker push. So let's run our pipeline. We are hopefully waiting that after the Docker build there will be a Docker push. So troubleshooting is also part of the game. As you are working, you should learn to be troubleshooting. Okay, our build is going on. Okay, we had a failure with our push. Let's try to troubleshoot together and see what happened. Okay, why did it fail? They said Docker login -u Clemerance -p crate. warning: using password here, that unauthorized incorrect username or password. All right, they are saying that my username or password is wrong. I don't know why they should say that my username or password is wrong, but let us try to rearrange it again. I know my username and I know my password. Okay, let me remove what I've just put in Jenkins and we create another one. So if you want to remove your credentials that you created in Jenkins, you come to manage Jenkins, you come down to credentials, then you see the credential that you are looking for. So the one that I want to replace is Docker auth, where I will delete it. Yes, and then I'll create another one, and that another one that I want to create, I come back to my dashboard, I go to pipeline, come down to look for with credentials bind to variables. Where are we? And then you come to add credentials, secret text. Here you take docker underscore create, you go here to create those credentials. Here you take secret text, here you write your password, ID, docker underscore auth, docker underscore auth, you add, and then you select it here, and then you generate. This is what you are expected to copy. And then we replace what is in our code. And then it will authenticate to Docker through docker underscore create. I will use this as an underscore. So let's run again. Let us run our pipeline. So right now our pipeline is successfully pushed. So as to why these two pipelines failed, because if your pipeline failed and you don't understand why they failed, look up here. When I came here, I was trying to create where we were creating we are struggling to create here. We we run secret text, yeah, here I wrote something like this. I wrote something like docker/create, right? I changed it, instead of slash, I changed it to docker_create, and then the pipeline executed. There are certain things that can actually frustrate your day. So instead of that, if you look at the code right now, you'll see that I changed from docker/ to docker_, okay, and the pipeline has run successfully. So let's go to our Docker Hub and see our new image, which is now present in our Docker Hub. So here is our new image. If you want to see your image, you come to tags, and then you will see your image. Here is your image, project 1 image. If you want to pull the image, you just run docker pull, and then this will occur, right? So let us pull the image, and we run and see what happens, and see if we can execute the image. So we run our docker pull. Why run docker pull? Let's just do our docker run, right? So you see, it is showing that our Spring Boot application is live and running. Okay, our Spring Boot application is live and running. Your image has been pushed to Docker Hub, and that ends our project. The next project, which we have already done, is pulling your image from Docker Hub and running it as an application, which you already know. So guys, practice more. The more you practice, the more you get used to doing all these things. Thank you very much. I am Clemerance. See you again in our next project. Bye bye.